Oh, get sorted out here. Who's in here? Let's see here. Y'all bear with me. Hello. I've cut off the top of my head. I don't ever know how tall I am. I just kind of wing this stuff. And now we're gonna be all crooked. I'll be looking like, hey, that's better. I can sit up. Hey y'all, if you see me looking down, I've probably got words down here too. Hey Mason, when we gonna get together, dude? We're close. We should make that an attempt. It's time for coffee. I don't know. It's like 5 in the afternoon. That means I'll be up all night, right? Hey Ed. Scary dude. How scary are you? How am I doing so far? Pretty good. If this wasn't a very wholesome channel, I'd show y'all my scars. I look like I've been in a knife fight. Well, it looked like somebody stabbed me with a steak knife, like repeatedly in my belly because of the robotic surgery. And then I got one bigger incision. It's about 3 inches, so it's not huge. You know, it's not like the old nephrectomy where they pop you open, you look like a can of Pillsbury biscuits that's been popped open. So it's tiny. Let's see here. Yeah, Mason. So let's figure out when to do that, dude. I mean, we can do that over Super Burrito. I'm always up for Super Burrito. Let's see, Dale. Yeah, man. I was glad I didn't have to do anything to my hands. I got hurt pretty bad. I fell down some steps back in the summer, so I'm glad I'm over that. Hello over to LJ. Y'all live that direction for me. Well, this Super Burrito may be different than your Super Burrito. This one seems fairly generic. This one was a Mr. Burrito, and then all of a sudden, and then for about a week or it was more like maybe a month, I would go in there, and one time my bill, like I always pay with credit card or debit card, and one time I'd pay and it would be my receipt would say Super Burrito, and then the next time it would say Mr. Burrito. So I don't know. It was weird. It was like they transitioned. Hall County, Gainesville. Yeah, Seth, most famous person I've jammed with at SPBGMA. So interesting story. I jammed with Chris Thile. He was probably 14 years old. 14, he might have been 15. 14 or 15 years old. And I jammed with Chris, and it was before anybody really knew who Chris was. He was a super polite kid, too. I mean, he was really nice. And so that was kind of cool. But I played with Pete Wernick there. I used to hang out with Bill Keith there all the time. But I don't always count Bill, because Bill and I were friends. So, you know, to say I hung out with Bill at SPBGMA, it was like, yeah, we did. You know, we hung out and we went to the Waffle House and stuff like that. But do I still do private lessons? Yeah, kind of, sort of. Just depends. I'm picky. I'm super picky. Have I ever played a miniature banjo? Hey, check this out. Hold on. I have one of these, so you can see in comparison size-wise. I do play a little banjo. Oh, it's way out of tune. But anyway, yeah, I've got one. Thomas, I do in person in real life. When I do lessons in real life, I do one-on-one in-person lessons. I don't do them online. Banjo-Ukulele. It's like ukulele, same thing. Thomas, again, kind of depends. 25 bucks for a half hour, usually what I charge. So 100 a month if you come. Mac, I really don't enjoy my tiny banjo. They're neat, they're fun. I mean, I bought it because, hey, little teeny banjo, let's do that. But it's not, I don't know. I really don't have a use for it. Banjo teacher near me, and he's the only one I can find. I've got on pretty well with your lessons. I've practiced a lot. I don't know. Go try a lesson with a guy and see what you think. Yeah, I can't do Skype. I've tried, man. It's just really weird for me to do it. It's really awkward. Favorite song? I don't think I have a favorite song. People ask me that, like, so in case you ever wonder, what does Jim do at night? Well, Jim sits here. Jim piles up in bed with his big bolster, sets up his camera, and does TikTok for a couple of hours every evening. I do a live TikTok stream. So you can find me on TikTok. It's a little different. I'm not exactly the friendly, cuddly Jim y'all have come to know. I'm a little grumpier because it's, 9 p.m. and I'm sitting here practicing. and I'm fielding hundreds of questions for Archtop and dueling banjos and stuff like that. So that's good coffee. Obviously, I needed that. Have I ever played with an Uilleann piper? Yeah, David Power, as a matter of fact. David and I met in 2012, and it was immediately like we were fast friends. And so we kind of hit it off. David's an amazing piper. And so, yeah, I've played with him a couple of times. And I'd love to do something kind of more official other than just hanging out at a pub and playing music. I'd like to really, try to do something. Does anybody else in my family play? My dad plays guitar, plays mandolin a little bit, or did. His arthritis is so bad now he hadn't played in years. So, hey Tommy, starting with your banjo. Is 5 years a legitimate timeline? I don't know, man. I don't know if Mason's still in here or not. Mason, what, you've been playing a couple years? I mean, you can play pretty good if you practice enough. I mean, I played in my first contest at 8 months. Of course I was 14, but there's a difference. Hardest song for me to play, I don't know, anything by Don Reno, all of that single string stuff. Saxophone, alto, tenor, clarinet, flute. I started out on alto sax when I was in 4th grade. That was a favorite bridge. Favorite bridge. Hang on, I'll show you. Ow. Y'all didn't see it. Y'all hadn't seen it yet. Hold on. Here's my favorite bridge. It's a little large, but that's it. I don't really gravitate toward bridge brands so much. I like to try them out, put them on my banjo, see how they sound, and if they sound good, they're good. Like on this one, I've got a Gary Sosebee on this one, and like this, Brian Hooper made me this. I've got a Brian Hooper bridge on my old time banjo, and then I've got, you know, just a variety of things. I got a neckful bridge on one. I got a Stelling bridge on another. You know, it's just what, excuse me, is whatever works. Brett, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm feeling better. Yeah, so y'all check out Mason Crone Music. I mean, he's been playing for 3 years. I mean, I think Mason is a great example of what you can do, you know, in a short amount of time. I mean, of course, Mason, how much do you practice a day? There's your question. All right, Paul's got a good question. I have a hard time getting my pinky to stretch to the 11th fret, second string, Cumberland gap. Any practice tips? Yeah, hang on. I think that's more psychological than anything. I mean, there it is. There's that stretch, okay? Now you can see I'm not all the way up to there. I'm just kind of here. All right, so you see where I am. Now let's take my hand off. I'm going to try not to do anything. Now I'm going to open my fingers up really slowly. Look, it's not really a stretch. So a lot of it is just training, and so getting used to putting your pinky there. I mean, now if I had to stretch to 12, yeah, that's going to be a reach, but you can do it. I remember, so Trevor Holder was one of my students when he was like 12, 13 years old. And I remember showing that to Trevor, but I never told him, you know, it's like, hey, buddy, this is going to be a stretch. You may have to work for this. I didn't tell him because Trevor had little hands. Trevor had small hands. We had to get him the small size finger picks, you know, like Pro Pick, Dunlop makes a small finger pick. So we got him those. And so he had tiny hands, but he could reach that. So you can do it. Yeah, so see, Mason's practicing 30 minutes to an hour a day when he was starting out. There you go. Now, and then when he was starting out, like several hours a day. Yeah, you got to put in the time. Any advice for slides? Well, yeah, hold on. That's sad. I'm out of coffee. So the main thing with slides is you really want to get your rolls. You know, you want to get your rolls to where you're not thinking about them. And once you got your rolls where you're not thinking about them, then you can start adding your slides. So you don't want to be in a situation to where, you know, you're trying to think about both right hand and left hand at the same time. You know, you want that right hand to be automatic. So work on that more. You know, think less about your right hand. Get it automatic, and then I think the slides are going to happen for you. Hey, Jim, thanks, man. Y'all saw what Jim did there. Wow, that's cool. I appreciate it. I know where I'm going to spend that. I'm going to buy more coffee. That's what I'm... Let's see. Yeah, you know, Paul, one of the things I tell my students all the time is stop thinking. Ron Thomason with the Dry Branch Fire Squad, he's their mandolin player, and they sell hats, and he calls them thought repellent caps. And so you need to put on your thought repellent cap, and yeah, just don't be thinking. Stuck in a plateau. You know, enjoy your plateau. That's all I can tell you, is enjoy it. Plateaus are good times to introduce new ideas to yourself, find new banjo players to listen to, find new music to listen to, find new bands to listen to. You and enjoy that plateau. Enjoy that period of just being everything kind of just working. That's kind of nice. I mean, plateaus are good. And then, but during that time, find ways to introduce new ideas. And go to a workshop, go to a camp, go to a bluegrass festival, find a new jam, go somewhere else. Find somebody to pick with, and then you're going to start learning songs. Am I in the banjo Discord? I do believe I am. Maybe in a couple of them, as there's 3 that I'm in. Fullington, yes, you cannot find tabs to Cripple Creek like I teach it, because I don't think you need them. I don't want you to have them. I want you to figure it out and internalize it without having a piece of paper in front of you. There's no tabs for any of my first 10 lessons. None. There's no tabs there, because so this is part of this, my teaching ideas. None, 0, nada, none of my banjo heroes, Earl Scruggs, Raymond Fairchild, Ralph Stanley, Don Reno, J.D. Crowe, Alan Mundy, any of these guys, none of them learned from tabs. None of them. What's that tell you? What's that tell you? None of them learned from tab. Now, I put tabs out there because I'm not a fool. I like the dollars that I get from the tabs. But the reality is, don't buy my tabs. Yeah, no, you don't need them. I'm putting the lessons out there on YouTube. So what? You got, not only do you have an audio recording, you got a video recording of me playing the song. You can see both my hands, and you can slow it down. Heck, and furthermore, you can slow it down and get to hear me talk, and it sounds like I've been into the moonshine. So, and I don't mean this in a hard way. This is one of these true tough love kind of situations to where I truly believe that, y'all are going to be so much better off. And you think, yeah, but if I just had the piece of paper that showed me where to put my fingers and what note to hold and all of that. Let me ask you a question. Those of you that have children or were around kids at all, or ever was a kid, did you teach your children to talk by teaching them to read first? Did any of your children learn to read and then start quoting you things that they had memorized from books before they asked you for food or a drink or milk or whatever, or a toy? So you don't need the tabs. Music is just like learning to talk. And I promise y'all can do it. Y'all can do it. Let's see here. Oh, inactive sleep. You're not learning anything new. It's like, I'm not learning anything new, but I feel like I'm not where I want to be. Well, hey, I think that's where we all are to a certain degree. I think if you cornered Noam Pikelny or Scott Vestal or somewhere and asked them, do you feel like musically you're where you want to be? And they're all going to say no. And that's the thing that drives us to be better. Mason, do you feel like that you are where you want to be musically? Let's ask Mason. We know he's a good picker. And so, why do I have a banjo head on the wall? Well, that's a good question, because I had a nail there. And I had a banjo head, and I didn't have any, and I didn't want to put it on a shelf somewhere to get bashed up. So it's an extra banjo head. So it's just, it's in storage. Let's see. Jim, yeah, making your own notes is helpful, and maybe it helps get it in your head. And I do that. So, like, okay, confession. So I posted that video yesterday evening of the what was it, Bandit Clovis, uh, Tyler Childers thing, and I played it. I played it from my notes that I had written down, so I would remember to play it according to the way that whoever the banjo player was on that recording played it, which was an incredible disappointment, because and not so much a disappointment because it was super easy to play. I mean, it was not difficult at all. Second break in Bandit Clovis, the banjo player, there's a big goober in it. I mean, there's a big dead note, and I'm going, man, did no one in the studio hear that? No one hear him go? Was that not? Or did somebody hear it and was like, it's good enough. It's good enough. I mean, it's a studio recorded. It could have been fixed. But nah, we're not fixing that. We're not fixing that. Let's see here. Banjo Discord. Somebody get you. You can find a link to mine out somewhere on my community page. I think it should be there. But and then Eli Gilbert has one too, which is way more active than mine. Mine's just all the cool kids have one, so I wanted one, so I did one. Justin, yeah, fiddlers played fast and their weird tunings and all kind of nonsense. And the best I can tell you is to dump them to an MP3 and put them into some sort of slow downing software. I use crap. What is that piece that I use? I've got one on my phone that I use, but it's not the Amazing Slow Downer. It's something else. It does the same thing. You can dump them into Audacity and do the same thing. I should do a tutorial on Moving Right Along from the Muppets. Is there anything in that song that I don't cover in everything else that I've got on my YouTube channel? The primary reason that I did the Bandit Clovis thing, it's a 3/4 tune, and I don't have a lot of 3/4 songs, so it teaches some principles that I feel like are necessary as a banjo player. But I mean, I don't teach. Here's some wild Jimbo philosophy, and I know this is going to sound kind of weird. I don't teach songs. I don't know songs. I don't memorize songs. I don't learn songs. Now, there's songs in my head, but I don't teach songs. I hope my biggest goal when I'm showing y'all something is that you will take it and break it down. Take all little pieces and utilize those to make your own arrangements of songs that you want to play. So if you want to play, some song from the Muppets, chances are I've taught you all of the bits and pieces already that'll make you able to play it. You just have to trust yourself. Record with Firefox browser and YouTube download. Jim, yeah, sounds legit to me, man. I mean, if you can download them and slow them down, yeah, that's what I would do. Chattanooga. Hey, Chattanooga. Lone Star. I'm good. I hope I don't need an admin yet, but I appreciate it. I really do. Let's see here. Barnes and Mullins. I've never heard of that, but I'm going to guess they're the same as all of the other pack rim imported banjos. Just a guess. They may not be, but I'm just guessing. So, I mean, they're probably the same as the, the Van Goghs and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that brand name. Oh, your fifth string pip fell off. You can get one from, so a lot of places sell those. Stuart McDonald sells them, stumac.com. Elderly Instruments, elderly.com probably sells them. You can get them, and it's not a huge deal to replace. Middle G, your G has been buzzing. It could be buzzing in it could be buzzing in the bridge slot. It could be in the bridge slot that's buzzing. Now, what you can do to test that is lift the string up out of the slot and set it over to the side. It's not going to be in a slot, but it's just going to be to the side of the slot, and see if it buzzes then. That's usually how I figure out if it's the slot. Lone Star, awesome, 7,000, good job. Yeah, frets wear out. I recommend, finding you a good luthier, somebody that can dress your frets, keep them in good shape. I am due a fret job on this banjo. I think the next set of frets I'm either going to put in stainless or the Evos and just be done with it. And then hopefully I won't have to refret it for a long time. I could put stainless in it and never have to do them again. Would you recommend buying a higher quality banjo? Yeah, the better banjo that you can afford to start out with is seriously doing yourself a favor. I mean, I know it feels like you're lightening your pocketbook, but really, I mean, it's a good idea. I tell people all the time, they say, what should I spend on a banjo? And I say, well, what are you thinking about spending? And they say, I was hoping I could spend, a couple $100. And it's like, well, triple that. At the very least, double it. Hey, Simpleton, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Tips on Cripple Creek 2 to 5 slide. Never sounds. Hit it, leave it down. And do them a lot. Earl does that quick. He does it. I like to drag it out. But either way, spend a lot of time doing it. And another thing to remember is be sure you get everything ringing. Get that fifth string ringing too, because then you get that little extra. How do you work on your time and to sound stable, confident, not rushed? I played with recordings. The biggest thing that ever helped, the thing that helped me more than anything was putting a record on and playing with the records. I played with Flat and Scruggs. I played with the Stanley brothers, played with the Osborne brothers. I would put on my J.D. Crowe album and I'd play along. I put the needle at the beginning, play through every song, and play every song after song after song. Simpleton, I'm wholesome here. Come to my TikTok, probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Things are different there. Expect sarcasm. Let's see. Let's see. 350 for Harley Benton. Yeah, that's another one of those. those, and they seem to get good reviews. Confuse me there. Jim was just trying to play the exact slide when you started. And I don't know. Okay. The only bit. Well, cool. I'm glad you got a banjo. I'm glad that I helped enable that. I consider I'm more of an enabler than an inspiration, I think. Let's see. Mason. You got to come to my TikTok. I'm amusing. I did boot one guy last night just because he was a jerk, but hey, so it goes. The Dirty 30s. I had one, and then I hit 75,000 subscribers, and I thought, I'm going to give that banjo away. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give away my banjo as a prize. So I did. I was going to get Recording King to donate one. Well, they didn't have one. So I was like, well, heck, this is such a great idea. I'm going to do it anyway. So I gave away my banjo. And I really liked my Dirty 30s, the resonator one. I really liked it. It was a good banjo. And so I want to get another one, but I kind of not got there yet. I'm not real, the open back ones, my biggest complaint on the open back ones is they don't put the heavier tension hoop on it. I wish they would, but that's really my only beef with those. Let's see. Show them how to brush the 2.5 Cripple Creek slide. Well, I don't do it because I think it sounds awful. And when I do a rake, I rake all the way through. Let's see here. Let's back up a little bit. But yeah, generally I don't do that. Not a fan. I can. Hey Corey, man, thanks for jumping in here. Is that Scruggs tuners? Yeah. So these are my. I'm hooked up on my straight back chair. This is a Cheetah keys. Cheat, CHEAT -A keys. So you can, let's see, you can see them. You can see that peg move. So they work really well. Let's see. Let me scroll back here. When am I touring Australia? I don't know. I'd love to. It's logistics, and then we had this whole pandemic thing, and then my life got upended. So I'd love to. I got friends down there. So I mean, it's not like I wouldn't have a place or two I could crash, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how useful a Jim Pankey Australian tour would be, other than being like a really cool vacation. So I definitely would enjoy it, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to do that though. Hold on, let me catch up. Uh-oh. Huh. Any tips for staying motivated? You know, find a reason to pick. That's it for me. You know, reason for. So y'all know I got sick, and then I couldn't pick, and then I wasn't able to pick up anything heavy, and it's like, well, shoot. And now, you know, it's like, so. And when I could pick, I picked up a banjo, and I was like, holy crap, I am so out of practice. I'm so rusty. My brain's not working, my fingers aren't working. I didn't have calluses. It's like, I got to practice, and I got to have a regular practice schedule. So I started doing the live stream on TikTok, and that's my practice session, you know. And now it's turned into, hey, play Rocky Top. Hey, play Country Roads. Hey, play Dueling Banjos. Hey, play Foggy Mountain Breakdown. You know, it's turned into that, which is somewhat annoying, but it's also good. It's good for me for my patience too. You know, it helps me be a little more patient and a little more pleasant, I think. But so that gave me a reason to practice regular and stay motivated. So find a reason to stay motivated, whatever it is. Let's see. How am I able to remember so many songs off the top of my head? I really don't. I mean, I remember melodies, but see, I have this sneaky suspicion that y'all are going about learning songs wrong. Y'all are memorizing a string of notes. You're remembering 3, 2, 5, 1 with a slide, and then you're remembering 3, 2, 5, 1 to open, and then you're remembering 3, 2, 5, 1 with a slide. So y'all are remembering all of those things. I don't do that. My brain doesn't go there. What I remember is going up a Cripple Creek, going in a run. I can remember songs. I can remember melodies. So I don't have to memorize every little note that happens. Okay, let's say, for instance, that you and I, whoever's listening, we're going to go to dinner. We're going to meet for dinner, and we're going to go to the steakhouse. We're going to get something at the steakhouse. And when you go to leave, the road that you had planned to take is closed. What are you going to do? Go back home? I can't go. Road's closed. But we'd made plans. And you're bound and dang determined that you're going to meet me at the steakhouse because I'm buying. And it's like the last time Jim bought was so far back in the past. It's like, you're not going to miss this opportunity. So what are you going to do? You're going to find another way to get there. But you know where you're going. You know where the steakhouse is. So this is me. So I know where Cripple Creek is. I know where it is. And I can get there. And if somebody says this particular road is closed to Cripple Creek, I'm going to find another way to get there. So if I said to you, hey, we're going to Cripple Creek, but you can't use alternating roll road. You got to find another road to get to Cripple Creek. Well, what the heck are you going to do? If you're playing it from what you've memorized, then you're out of luck. But if you're playing it based on knowing where Cripple Creek is, then you can find another way. So I really recommend figuring out, how things work together. Legos. I used to buy my son the boxes, the kits of Legos. And so I remember I bought him one time. It was a pirate ship. It was a big box of Legos. It's like 300-400 Legos in this box, or maybe more. I don't know. It was a lot. And so I got him that. And so he sat there with his instruction book, and he built that pirate ship. And he said, hey, Dad, come look at the pirate ship. And I went and looked at the pirate ship. And he says, all right, I'm going to build something else. And so he built a pirate ship, and he broke it all apart, threw it all in a shoebox, all the little blocks. And then from that point on, he built other stuff with those same blocks. That's what I want y'all to do with the stuff that I'm teaching. I want you to take every little thing that I teach. So like in Bandit Clovis, that first lick in Bandit Clovis, I want you to be able to take that lick and put it somewhere else. Not just in Bandit Clovis. That's not a Bandit Clovis thing. It's just a banjo lick. It's just, those are just licks, and you can use them anywhere. Take every little phrase, every little lick, every little idea, and say to yourself, can I put that lick in some other song? You can. How creative do you want to be? So that's the goal here. That's what I want y'all to do. All right, let's see what other questions here. I'm running behind. Can I play song for Susan? I can. I said I could, kind of. I used to play it pretty regular. What makes the cheetah keys better than normal Scruggs tuner? Here's what makes them better. Here's what makes them better. All right. Here's my... Notice that they work, but you're playing on stage and it's hot, or it's cold, or it's humid. And guess what do banjos do better than any other instrument? Looking for answers here. What do banjos do better than any other instrument? Or more often? Yeah, they go out of tune. They go out of tune. And so if you have Keith tuners, if you have the standard Keith tuners with the little set screws and everything, and you got to retune, then you got to reset your set keys. You got to do all of that. With this, if my banjo, okay, listen, my banjo's out of tune. So now I'm back in tune. Guess what? My tuner still works. I didn't have to reset anything. That's why the cheetah keys, I think, are better, because I don't have to reset everything. So there you go. Yeah, banjos go out of tune. That's our specialty. That's what we do. Jim Pankey, Ireland tour when? 2012 and 2016. I'm sorry you missed me. Let's see. Let's see. Paul, got rid of your classical teacher and started putting my fingers down. Progress is going much quicker. Well, good. Good. Makes a difference. Do I play Cindy? I do. Michigan in August. That's a possibility. I'm scrolling back. Just finished my beginner series. Learn these next. I have a playlist called Learn These Next. Learn those next. Is it okay to rake using your right index finger? I've never done that. I don't know how I would do that. That would be a rake up. It would sound really weird. I don't know that. I don't know. I have to do it with my thumb. That's... All right, here we go. Hey, I'm about to get caught up on questions that I'm going to answer. If I've ignored you, I'm sorry. Hello down to Macon. Any tips for the bend on the shave and the haircut? Just bend the heck out of it. Just hit it and bend it. Hey, Ned, I'd love to come back to Ireland. I love it. Where in Ireland are you? Yeah, I had a ball when I was there. We took the went over the first time with Curtis Blackwell, And the second time, took the Hamilton County Ramblers over there. I arranged that particular tour. It was a blast. Hey, Dwayne Hess. Jim Gunther and the Steer. I don't know what that is. Hey, me first. Thank you. Have I seen the original prints for the Scruggs peg? Oh yeah, I have. I saw some of the stuff that Bill had shared with me way back too. Is it bad to float your pinky? Yeah, it's kind of bad. You really trust me on this one. Anchor that pinky. Just go ahead and anchor it. Just get her down there. While you're learning to anchor your pinky, go ahead and learn to anchor your ring finger too. Just go ahead and start with both, and then you can decide later if you don't want both of them. I mean, you got to have something. You really need something anchored. And I hate to be such a stick in the mud about it, because your banjo you play any way you want to. But if you want to play bluegrass, I really do recommend putting a finger down. Really recommend it. Alternate tunings. Yeah, a little bit, you know. Alternate as in, I play in D a lot. And I play in C a lot. Oh, so stone walls and steel bars. So that's Ralph Stanley. So one, he's playing an Archtop banjo, which has a smaller diameter resonating surface on the head by an inch, smaller diameter resonating surface. And Ralph has his banjo set up really tight. So yeah, you're gonna get the really and then Ralph also plays way back here close to the bridge. So you get that real pingy sound where Earl would play that. Ralph. Earl. So yeah, it's a lot of it's playing style. A lot of it is the type of banjo that Ralph is playing. D minor tuning, yeah, but you know, I play Nashville blues. I play Nashville. I don't even retune for Nashville blues anymore, except for the fifth string. Play Nashville blues. I don't retune for it anymore. I used to play it out of D minor, but we did it with a band for a little while, and I was like, hey, that's cool. I was like, man, I don't want to have to retune every time, so I just learned it with it in just standard tuning with fifth string to A. Will I ever come to Scotland? I would love to come to Scotland. Let's figure out a way to do that. All right, so here's how this would work, and this is how it works. It's like, how much is it going to cost me to get to Scotland? How much is it going to cost me to stay in Scotland for whatever length of time? And can I get enough people to come to a workshop or a concert over that period of time to pay for it all. And then me not miss work income, which is way easier for me since, the bulk of my, I could actually do TikTok and stuff in Scotland. I mean, y'all do have all the general amenities like internet, so it would be good. So really, it boils down to what's it cost me to get there? How much does it cost me to stay when I'm there? How much am I going to eat? Who's going to be paying for all of that? And then, I mean, because if it's me, then it increases the cost. And then, can I get enough people to come out to do that to where I actually make a little bit of money in the process? That would be really fun. I'd love it. So I guess I need to figure out, if I come to Scotland, and I don't know where I would fly into, but I have to look at airfare, see what it's cost, see when the best time to come, and figure that out. But yeah, I'm totally up for that. I think it would be fun to do like I don't know, like a 3-day weekend workshop. Would that, wherever any of you are here right at the moment watching, would like a weekend workshop be something that y'all would hang out with me and let me pour this junk in your brain? I mean, I would, I'm totally up for that. We did a kind of thing like that in Ireland. Simon, somebody put that together, and it was a weekend workshop that I did, and well, the whole band, the Ramblers, we did a workshop, and it was a lot of fun, and that was really one of the best parts of the whole tour was that weekend. So do one of those workshops in Utah. Yeah, I'd like to do a workshop in Utah. I like Utah. And England, right. See, I could do a whole UK tour. I could do England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Isle of Man. Can I do South Africa too? I mean, because I'd like to do that. Do one in Georgia. Yeah, I could do one in Georgia. We could do it on the back porch. Will you come to Chattanooga? I come to Chattanooga fairly regular. I used to do quite a bit in Chattanooga. I still do, kind of. Seth, man, I'm not sure if I'm going to SPBGMA or not. That's going to be a petri dish. SPBGMA, you always get the crud at SPBGMA. Every year I've ever gone to SPBGMA, the following week after SPBGMA, you've always got some sort of crazy head congestion or some sort of stomach crud or something that you picked up at SPBGMA because everybody's packed into a hotel, elbow to elbow, and everybody's touching everything and everybody. So I'm not real sure that I am up for the petri dish, the science experiment known as SPBGMA. I'm still on the fence about it. Best advice I've ever received was one of the things that set me on the path that I'm on still to this day, at least musically. I mean, I've gotten all kind of good advice from different people for different things through the years, but Raymond Fairchild, I was 14, 15 years old. We had gone somewhere, I don't know, it was either Plainview Superette, which was a place that Otis had. It was just a local country music guy. He had a little store and a little concert stage. And Raymond used to come there, or it could have been the Wink Theater in Dalton. I'm not sure, but it was one of those two. And so we went to see Raymond. Amazing picker. If y'all don't know who Raymond Fairchild is, he passed away recently, but year before last. But do go look up Raymond Fairchild. And anyway, so I went to see Raymond, and we, it was after the show, was talking to him. He was just hanging out and talking, and he let me play his banjo. So I'm playing Raymond's banjo, and he had an old RB1 Gibson, old one. And I'm playing it. It was kind of cool. It was a neat old banjo. And so I'm standing over there playing it, and he's talking to my dad. and they're talking, and I get done, and I don't want to wear out my welcome with the banjo with Raymond. You know, I don't want to commandeer his banjo for too long, you know, but I wanted to play it. But anyway, I got done, and I walked over to hand him his banjo back, and Raymond says to me, he looks right at me, he says, "You're doing real good, boy, but don't copy nobody. You just play." And it's like, oh, it's like, all right. So it was almost like permission for me to create my own way of doing things. So that's what I did. Did you ever go to Winfield? Nope, never did. Never went to Winfield. My friend Roy Curry that I play with, Roy's been out there a whole bunch, and I think he's won guitar out there 3 times, and he's placed a bunch. The man's won like 25 guitars in his life, and most of them I think were from Winfield somehow or another. Let's see. Play a song that you love to pick. Man, I don't know. I don't have songs like that. You know, I get hung up on stuff. You know, the latest thing I was hung up on, excuse me, my mustache needs attention. I've been playing Sugar Coated Love. I use the JD Crowe blue chip, but you know, use whichever. I've got one of the Russ Carson ones. Not real crazy about it. I think it's a little too long. I mean, the JD is just a fuzz too long for me, but it'll eventually wear down. They last so flipping long though. Am I a Hartford fan? Yeah, I went to sleep listening to John Hartford last night. That was my lullaby. I was listening to Hartford. J.L. Bear. Well, welcome to my live. Let's see, got a new banjo last week. Learn. Well, welcome to the world of the banjo. I'm glad to enable you. Chris Decker, there's a couple of things. The last thing I put out was Bandit Clovis. It's a Tyler Childers thing. It's 3/4, so go check it out. That's a good place to start. I need to go through my lessons and see what is out there. I think I have. There's maybe All the Good Times Are Past and Gone. Maybe it's out there. I don't know what else I've got 3/4, but I need to look, and that's kind of going to be. I'll probably do another 3/4 lesson pretty soon. I need to make a playlist of those, even if it's like just 2 songs. Nashville Skyline Rag. Yeah, I play that. What banjo do I play? I play this one mostly. This is a Recording King M5 is the model. I got this one in 2013. Bugle Call Rag. Oh man, I don't know. Master Clone, they're all pretty much the same. Andrews, I know I've played that before, but it's not in my head. Good place to find tabs for banjo. No idea. I don't do tabs. I do. I mean, I have tabs for sale on my selfie site. Go to any of my other videos. Chances are there's a link to a tab. And if you can find that one, you find all the other tabs that I have out there. But don't learn from tabs. Y'all quit. Just stop. Stop downloading tabs. Stop looking at tabs. Stop reading tabs. Put them away. Not a single one of your banjo heroes learned from tabs. None of the old guys, J.D. Crowe, Sonny Osborne, Earl Scruggs, Don Reno, Johnny Wisnett, Buck Trent, Roy Clark, Alan Shelton, Don Stover. None of them learned to play banjo from reading tabs. Not a single one. That should tell you something. That should tell you something. That should speak volumes to you. That should speak to you that none of those guys, none of those people that we idolize, none of those people that everybody wants to play like used tabs. Think about it. I want you to ponder on it. I know it's a hard thing. It's a hard pill to swallow. But, you know, think about it. Do I know how to play Woe Mule in the style of Raymond Fairchild? I have a video on that. You can go out to my YouTube channel, and I'll even teach you to play it. Tabs are paint by number. Yeah, I remember. I've made that comparison many times. Let's see. Starting out with eastbound, but I'm slow currently. That doesn't sound like it yet. I'll speed up eventually. Do you play anything else, or are you just starting with eastbound and down, just at random? I mean, that's not exactly the place to start. There are better places to start. Do you do any improvising? Yes, everything I do is improvised. Everything I do is improvised. Just like me talking. Everything that comes out of this mouth is improvised. I have nothing memorized. I have no script. I have no teleprompter. Everything I play is improvised. Everything. There is nothing that is not improvised. Dwayne Dean. Now that's a country name right there. Dwayne Dean. That's country. I mean, we got Dwayne Hess. I know Dwayne's country. Dwayne is a country name. I don't know any Dwaynes that ain't country. Banjo sounds good. Do you have the head that... Do you have the head? Yeah, there's the head that came on it. Right there it is. That's the head. That's the one that came on it. Boom. Still there. Kind of nasty. A little gross. I'm a tab addict and have no idea how to get around it. Well, Terry, if you was a cigarette addict, what would you do? You stop smoking cigarettes. I mean, the only way to quit doing something is to quit doing something. Put the tabs away. Start listening. Go back to go back through my beginner series and do it and internalize all of that stuff and listen to it and listen to how it works. Listen to what's going on and how it all fits together. That's super important. It's super important. Tabs are useful. I mean, I use them. But, like for instance, I made notes of that Bandit Clovis song, because I transcribed what the dude stumbled through on the recording. And so I could stumble through it the way he did. And so I made notes so I could refer to those as I played it. So I would play it pretty close to what the recording was. So sure, there's a time and place for it, but it's not the place where you learn. I mean, sometimes it's nice to, you know, if I can't, I remember, you know, the old Alan Mundy albums used to come with a tab sheet. So like Banjo Sandwich or Banjo Kid Rides Again, Picks Again, those came with tab sheets. And so you could, because you couldn't see what he was doing, you didn't know where he was on the neck. And sometimes it was just a huge, lots of possibilities. And so having the tab was useful for that to a certain degree. But for the most part, honestly, I didn't learn to read tab till I was almost 30 years old. And I've been playing since I was 13. So, would I recommend playing further away from the bridge? I play all around in here. I mean, all of that's fair game. It depends on the sound that you want. So, I mean, so this is where I am. So that's right there is about where I'm picking. When I pick my hand up, you can see about where I am. When I'm playing, you know, if I'm picking a lead break. Da, 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 da. But if I'm playing backup, then I move up here. Or if I'm playing up the neck, then I move up. Or if I want something to be bright, then I move. So you need to learn to let this hand move around. That's pretty important. It's pretty important. Yeah, get the tabs out, but close your eyes. Yeah, don't look at them. I mean, you're not going to be able to use your tabs at a jam session. Let's see here. K-bar, thanks. Smile. Let's see here. If I'm figuring out my own arrangements for a song, I use tabs to write down what I came up with. That's a great use of tabs. I do that. So like the songs that I teach on my YouTube, a lot of times I will do that. Like I will go ahead and jot down the arrangement that I'm going to use for a couple of reasons. Primarily is so I remember what I've played. So when I go to teach it, I don't teach something different than what I play, because in my earlier videos, I do that. I'll play it, and then I'll teach you something different than what I just played. It's a total Yngwie Malmsteen move. Yngwie does that. I remember a couple of the videos that Yngwie did back in the 80s, early 90s, and he would play this lick, and then when he'd slow it down, it'd be different. It's like, dang it. But so I know, you know, I'm as guilty of it as well. So now I'm a little more careful. So yeah, I will jot them down, and then that it's a little easier. Used to, I just play it, wing it all the way through it, and then tab whatever I played. Let's see. Let's see. Do you have anything stuffed in the back? No, I don't have anything stuffed in this. It's just as loud as it goes. I do in my open back. I got a little red shop rag that I stick in my open back just to kill some of the ringiness, some of the overtones, but nothing to quiet it down. Fingers on your picking hand hurt after a few minutes. Yep. just take your time. They'll get better. I don't know how old you are. You may be suffering from arthritis and stuff like I do. So, I mean, whatever your standard go-to is for that. If you take any kind of glucosamine or anything for your joints, you know, but I'm not making any recommendations there. I do that. And take some Tylenol, you know. Do you prefer the strap to be over the head or over one shoulder? Dun, dun, dun. I prefer it over here. When I was a kid, when I was a younger man, I wore it over here because I thought that was cool. If not, and so I moved it over to there, and it's definitely way more comfortable. You know, a lot of people wore it over that right shoulder because they saw Earl do that. Earl did it for a reason. I don't have that reason. I don't have to take a hat off to play my guitar. I can just put my banjo down. Michael, lesson 7. Thanks for been practicing every day. Any tips? Yeah, keep wash, rinse, and repeat. Wax on, wax off. Paint the fence, man. Do all of that stuff over and over. Do it until it makes sense. Go back to lesson 4 and play lesson 4 over and over and over until lesson 4 makes you go, oh, I know why I'm doing that now. So that's important. So do that. Yeah. Let's see. How similar is playing the banjo to the guitar? It's about the same as the comparison between an airplane and a helicopter. They're different. I mean, similar principles. They both fly. They both use lift, but they're different. And same with a banjo. I mean, I generally know when a guitar player has bought a banjo and has ignored all of the basic banjo instruction because they still sound like a guitar player playing the banjo. Kind of like the Steven Seagulls guy. You want to be that guy, you know, yeah, you're good to go. If you want to sound like a banjo player, then you're going to have to forget all that stuff. What age was I when I let my beard and hair grow? You like it? Well, thanks, Vic. So I've had the beard on and off since I was about 18 years old. You know, I would grow it, shave it off, grow it, shave it off, grow it, shave it off. And so I shaved it off probably, I don't know. It started to get some gray in it, and I thought, shaving that off. So I shaved it off. And then we had, I was working with Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts at the time, and so we had Santa Claus come for the Boy Scouts. And it's like, you know, when I shave in the morning, like all the whiskers and stuff in the sink are pretty much just gray. I bet my beard would be totally white if I was to grow it out. So I started growing my beard out. And that was at the end of 2016, first of 2017. So right before I did all of my lesson videos and stuff, I had started growing my beard out at that point. And the hair, sometime toward the end of 2019, I just started letting the hair grow. And then when the pandemic hit, it's like, well, shoot, now I can't go get a haircut. And so, yeah, I just kind of let it grow out. I don't know. I need to do something with it, but I hadn't decided yet. Maybe I get a mullet. Cradle strap? No, cradle strap really. So this one, it just attaches to the brackets like, you know, like that. So I don't think the cradle strap does any different as far as the weight goes. Who inspired me to play the banjo? Yeah, I really don't know. I always loved the banjo. So it's, I don't know. There's old 8mm movies of me as a little bitty kid imitating Grandpa Jones. I didn't have a banjo, but I did have a skillet. So I guess my first banjo was a skillet. Y'all thought y'all had it rough. Let's see. Broke my little left hand finger. Can I play up the neck without a little finger? Yeah, sure. I mean, if Barry Abernathy can play the banjo at all, you can play without using your little finger. If y'all don't know who Barry Abernathy is, look him up. Yes, Banjo Santa. Something out of the box. I don't want to have to rearrange my camera. Y'all just have to imagine that you can see everything. If I only had a brain. And be even worthy of you if I only had a brain. So there you go. There's you something a little weird and out of the box. Let's see. If you still want to play, that's one of those things. The answer seems obvious. It's like, if you want to play, what's the answer? You play. We all do the things that we want to do. If you want to, you will. So that's your, that's life advice. That's not just banjo advice. That's everything. If your neighbor's sick and you need to check on them, if you want to, you will. Did I study with a private teacher when I was learning? No, hang on. I'll show you my teacher. I'll be right back. Coming. Don't go away. He's still here, y'all. I'll just grab a couple. So I'll show you my teacher. So here's a picture of one of my teachers. Here's another picture of one of my teachers. These were my teachers. And then all the Flat and Scruggs album. These were just on the front of the pile. And so this is where I learned. These were my teachers. This is how I learned to play. I put these records on the record player and I played them over and over and over until I could do it. My teachers. Right there. There they are. And I have stacks and stacks of old records. And this is how I learned to play. So no, I didn't have a private teacher. I had records and a record player. And I mean, I don't mean that in a harsh way. I mean, that's just how I did it. There was nobody really around that we knew that could teach me. And I figured, well, I can listen to these albums and figure it out. And I did, kind of, my own way. Yeah, JD's got a weird right hand. That's all I can tell you. I saw Jason Burleson posted a picture recently of him when he was a kid, trying to hold his hand like JD did. So I learned rolls just by listening. Yes, I did. So, I mean, I could listen to Earl Scruggs stuff. And so I figured out, different right hand patterns. And part of figuring out the right hand patterns was, I mean, there's only certain things that you can do. And so it's like, ooh, I want to go. I I need that sound, or I need. And so once I learned how to move back and forth, yeah, I just kind of figured them out. And then later, so I started doing that, and then my dad got me the Earl Scruggs record that went with his book. I didn't have the book; I just had the record that went with the book. So I had the demo, you know, of the exercises. So I got that, and that was helpful. And then later, I got a book by a guy. Hey, Michael, thanks. I got a book by a guy named Lee Elliott, and you can find Lee on Facebook. Lee Elliott Music, and he still prints the book. And it's super helpful. And a lot of the way I teach based on the way Lee Elliott taught in his book. Yeah, Sam, the big thing is, you know, slow them down. You know, my record player that I had would, it had a 16 speed. So, you know, 33 and third, slowed that down. It was almost half thereabouts. And it was lower sounding, but I could at least pick out the notes that way. Let's see. Playing songs important. Yeah, it's nice to have some songs that you can play, but I never memorize them. I mean, I have bits and pieces of stuff memorized. You know, people ask me, like on my TikTok streams at night, to, you know, they'll be like, hey, play theme time. And I'm going, the only part of theme time that I actually remember is. That's the only part that I remember. The rest of it, I just fake. So, I mean, that's the only part that my brain remembers. So, do you have any experience helping newer musicians open up and improvise? No. The only way you learn to improvise is by improvising. There's nothing that I can tell anyone that'll help them improvise. There's nothing. There's no words that I can say that'll help people improvise. The way you learn to improvise is to improvise. It's the only way you can do it. It's the only way it can happen. You have to be able to just figure out how to fake your way through it. I don't have, you know, I mean, you could probably go to the Banjo Hangout, and there's a couple of guys over there that'll give you chart after chart, PDF after PDF, page after page of all these musical theory rules and things. Oh, if you know this, then you'll be. It's bull. I mean, knowledge does not equal ability, ever. And you have to improvise to learn to improvise. And I wish there was an answer. But yeah, Stephen just said, the more you do something, the better you get. Yeah. William, do you play any? Okay, so William, is that Chianti? Are you left-handed? You're left-handed. Do you play any other musical instruments? So I need an answer before I can go on. William, do you play any other musical instruments? No. All right. So we're talking about the banjo. But let's pretend that we were talking about the piano. Banjo is no different than piano. Call up your local piano store and say, hey, I'd like to get a left-handed piano. It's not going to happen. Because here's the thing. We use both hands to play the piano. You use your left hand and your right hand. Same with the banjo. You use your left hand, you use your right hand. You got to use both hands. My advice, since you don't play any other musical instruments, you got to use both hands. Why, if you are left hand dominant, what makes you think that one hand is more important than the other on the musical instrument? What makes you think that one hand is more important on the musical instrument? Because it's not. Both hands are super important. Both hands are, you got to have both. It takes both to play. And unless you have a physical handicap that prevents you from doing finger rolls, then I would, and if you're prone to always wanting to buy custom built instruments that you can't test drive, then sure, get you a lefty. Otherwise, if you don't play, learn on a right-handed banjo or learn on a regular banjo. It's not even this is not a right-handed banjo. This is just a banjo. You ever gone to an orchestra? You ever seen an orchestra play? Have you ever been to an orchestra? I don't know how many people are in an orchestra, but a lot. A lot. You imagine any of those folks in the orchestra, do you think they're all right-handed? You think that that's something that the orchestra committee says, okay, are you right-handed? Because you can't be in the orchestra unless you are. I know a bunch of left-handed players that play just a regular instrument. And it'll sure make your life easier down the road. Because if you met up with me and I say, man, here, you should try out my banjo. And you say, oh, I can't play it. Oh, yeah, that's right. You play yours the other way and you had to get it custom built. But you can't buy a left-handed piano. You can't buy a left-handed saxophone. You know, and both hands have to do something. And if you're coming at this fresh, dude, seriously, I've got a friend of mine local here. She's a ukulele player, brand new, never had played before until she met me. She's left-handed and she is absolutely hard-wired left-handed. I said to her, Jill, you can play left-handed if that's going to make you happy, but you don't play anything at all. So here, hold your ukulele like this, strum with this hand, hold your chords with this hand, and she'll tell you that that's the right way to go. Anyway, so there's my philosophy on handedness. I mean, you got to use both hands. Any old-time players that inspire me? Doc Boggs, Seeger? Not really. Not really. I don't listen to a whole lot of old-time stuff. Most of the old-time stuff I listen to is fairly new. So I don't have a lot of those old guys that I listen to. Big League, go to my Learn These Next. Big League asked what to do after the 10 lesson series. Yep, do my Learn These Next playlist. You'll find my playlists, and Learn These Next is what should be next. William, I hope that was helpful, and I hope I didn't come off as a smart aleck, but I mean, I've got a friend that's a lefty, and he plays the left-handed banjo, and I mean, he's hardwired left, and he already plays guitar left-handed, and it's like, well, it only made sense. And that's the reason I asked. If you were already playing guitar left-handed, then yeah, get you a lefty banjo. But if you're not playing, seriously, you got to use both hands. Let's see. Is there a difference between using for picking trigger finger or the middle finger? I mean, claw hammer? Nah, man, whichever one feels most comfortable. That one's definitely one of those, you know, if it feels good, do it. I use both on claw hammer. I'll use, depending on the sound that I want. My middle finger has a bassier sound. My index finger has more treble. I don't know why. I guess it's nail shape or whatever. My middle fingernail is a little more curved. The index finger is a little more pointy. I don't know. It gives me different tone. Let's see. Yeah, Ned, yeah, sometimes a piper will reverse their hands, and you're right, most don't, because what difference does it make, you know? How tall am I? I am 6'5". I'm a big goomer. I'm a banjo goon. I'm a big guy. I'm part of the tall banjo union, but yeah, I'm 6'5". Let's see. Yeah, I mean, videos take, I mean, I'm only this big on the videos. There's video of me playing with Luamp. If you go out on my YouTube channel, you can scroll down a little ways and see like me playing Road to Columbus, and then there's one of me playing Rebecca. You see me standing up in comparison. I'm on the complete opposite other end of the stage from Meredith, because Meredith is like this tall in real life, and you know, and I'm like this tall. So yeah, if we stand together, I can literally, like, if Meredith stands next to me, I can move my banjo, like I can hold my banjo like I'm playing it, and it goes right across the top of her head. She's that short. I mean, I guess Meredith is just, she's normal sized, I reckon, for a woman, but but yeah, we separate, me and Meredith, because it looks really, it's definitely Mutt and Jeff when we're together. Roger Miller songs on clawhammer. You know, I never really thought about that, but hang on, let me. Dale, you're 5'1". So I've got one of my oldest friends. I think he's either 5'1" or 5'2", and yeah, we were definitely Mutt and Jeff when we were hanging out together. I'm still here. Da, da, da. See, I'm tall. You can't even see my head. SJ Woodworks, you've inspired me. I wonder, maybe not that key. I need a capo. Uh-oh. Hang on. I'm still here. Your Honor, I am not a cat. I still laugh about that. Y'all saw that video, right? The dude that signed into his Zoom meeting, his court Zoom meeting, and he signed in with a cat filter. That was so funny. Mark, yeah, Bela's left-handed. Chris Thile's left-handed. Of course, he's a mandolin player, but there you go. All right, SJ Woodworks. Well, you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. Can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. Can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. But you can be happy if you mind to. All you gotta do is put your mind to it. Knuckle down, buckle down, do it, do it, do it. Yeah, you could do that. Well, you can't change film with a kid on your back. Can't change film with a kid on your back. Can't change film with a kid on your back. But you can be happy if you mind to. All you gotta do is put your mind to it. Knuckle down, buckle down, do it, do it, do it. Yeah. So, yeah, you could definitely do that. Brian Lee, yes, Bela is left-handed. There's a lot of players that are left-handed. I think Allison Brown might be left-handed. I'll have to double check. I'll have to ask her. I don't remember. But yeah, Bela's definitely lefty. There's a lot of lefties. SJ Woodwork, glad I can make your day. That was pretty simple. I wish women in my life could be made that happy that easy. Let's see. Do it. Yeah, I could work out a pretty good little break for that. That's kind of neat. I usually hear some sort of Roger Miller song just about every morning when I'm getting ready. So I'll hit shuffle, and my morning shuffle is usually Earl Scruggs Review, Buck Owens, Roger Miller, Jerry Lee Lewis, stuff like that, and some Blue Highway and some J.D. Crowe. So that's kind of my morning. Let's see. What tune double C. Let's see. What banjo is this? This is one of Mike Ramsey's. It's a Woody. Now we're about to get into my TikTok show here. This is Mike Ramsey from, there you go. You can see it's upside down. Appomattox, Virginia. Mike passed away a couple years ago, but it's a 12-inch. It's a 12-inch Woody. So now, yeah. I'll leave it at that. Let's see. What does it mean when they say a song is in A or C? It means the key, and it means those chords that we're going to be playing. So like if the song is in the key of C, then that tells me what chords are going to come up. It's going to be C, F, and G. So it's good to know those. And as a kid, I just memorized them. I mean, there's ways to figure them out, but there's so few. Just memorize them. Just learn, Oh, key of G, that's G, C, and D. There you go. It's just easier to memorize them. Omi Wise. I don't know Omi Wise. I mean, I know that's a Doc Boggs thing that everybody's all crazy about right now, but it's just not something that I would know. What size Pro Pick thumb pick do I use? Size none. I use blue chip. Use a blue chip large. Pro Pick, I have no idea what it would probably be a large, most likely. I got a big thumb. I'm a big guy. Pretty Polly. Yeah, come to my TikTok. I play it on there occasionally. I don't know if Pretty Polly, come go along with me. Polly, pretty Polly, come go along with me. Before we get married, some pleasure to see. Alan McSwain, what should I practice on a daily basis? Yes, everything. Do everything. Practice stuff. Practice songs. Depends on where you are musically. I mean, if you're still in the process of learning, like if you're in my first set of lessons, work on the stuff that I teach in my lessons. Work on that stuff. That's pretty important. Matt, yeah, I was just playing some clawhammer. A kunkel. No, I never played a kunkel. And I've never played one of the cello banjos. I've seen them, but I've never played one. Oh, there's no mutiny. Where were you just a minute ago when I was playing the three-finger stuff? Can you over practice? Teresa, I don't know. I practice 3 or 4 hours a day. I mean, it's not a hugely physical thing. I mean, I practice a lot. So, but and I typically, so my practice kind of works out like this. I'll work on tunes. There'll be a tune that I want to learn. So one of the tunes that I wanted to learn recently was I'm still here. Where did I put my picks? Was that Doggy Mountain Breakdown. Doggy Mountain Breakdown. It's a Grisman thing, but Earl played the banjo on that. So that's been a project tune of mine for the past several weeks. And it's not hard. And the question came up, am I going to do a lesson on it? And it's like, heck no. I'm not going to do a lesson on this because I can barely play the crazy thing. But it's something that I play. So let me go through it slow because it's Earl. It's Earl post review. So Lester and Earl, then he played with a review, and then this would have came after review, and Earl's playing evolved. So there's stuff here that I understand, but my brain is still in a different mode of trying to pick. So it's got some weird stuff in it. And so that's something I'm working on. So when I sit and practice, I go back to that tune because it makes me do things that I'm not used to doing. It makes me do things that I suck at. Because those are the things I need to practice. I can sit and practice things that I can do well, and I'll get better at them. But if I never practice the things that I suck at, then I'll always continue to suck at those things. So this song has plenty of places in it that I suck. And so I practice it a lot. Let's see. Playing 2 to 4 hours a night for the last 2 weeks. It'll get you pretty far, providing you're practicing the right stuff. What's my opinion on weed and psychedelics? I have no opinion on it at all. I'm not done either. See, that's one of those things that I stink at. In that triple pull-off. And right into that. So that's some weird Earl stuff that I kind of stink at. So I've been practicing that a lot, just to where I want to get it to where it feels normal, and so that's what I'm doing with my practice time. Difference between practicing and playing. I mean, maybe, but I mean, playing is playing stuff you already know. Practicing is playing stuff you don't know real good. So work on the stuff you suck at. That's practice to me. Michael So I use the Ernie Ball finger picks, but you can use whatever. There's a link to these in most of my videos. If you find some of my videos, there'll be a link to where you can get them. I think Banjo Ben sells them too, but that's what I use. And you can, they're metal, so you can shape them to fit your fingers the way you want. But I like these little pointy Ernie Ball finger picks. Most people don't like them, but I'm a weirdo. I can't help it. And then Dunlop makes some smaller size finger picks that might be appropriate. But these you can squish them down to whatever size you need. Favorite rock or country bands? Man, I don't know. Right now, my favorite rock/country band is the Earl Scruggs Review from the 70s. That's kind of what I'm into at the moment. Hang on, I saw a question up here that was kind of interesting. Hold on, let me see if I can get back to it. How many banjos do I have? 10 or 11, just depends. Did I have the same beard coverage when I was 18? Yes, I did. I did. When my beard came in, it came in. Needs trim. But yeah. Worst gig experience? Man, I don't know. We played this thing in Chattanooga one time at the pavilion, and it's undercover. It's covered, but it's outside. It was a pavilion. It's a big, huge thing, and they have a market there. And we were playing, and a storm blew through. And man, when the storm blew through, it like rained sideways in the pavilion. We all got drowned. I mean, absolutely soaked. That was pretty bad. It's funny now, but it was bad at the time. I mean, everything got soaked. All our gear, all the equipment, me. I mean, my whole back. It looked like somebody took a fire hose to my back. I was soaked. So yeah, that was rather unpleasant. And then I played this other thing. Also, here's another pavilion, Chattanooga pavilion thing. We played a wintertime thing for Road Tech, and they make road equipment, like for building highways. And we did a wintertime thing for them. And man, it was so cold. It was like 17 degrees. It was ridiculous cold that night. And yeah, I can't play when it's cold. Playing with a metronome definitely helps. Or a drum machine, or playing with recordings, back to the records. Play along with the records, put on some J.D. Crowe, play along. JD's going to hold you pretty dang close to end time. So yeah, do that, or play with a metronome or whatever. But that's how I did it. What do I think of Willow? I think she's gotten better. There's some stuff that I've heard Willow play where she is like, I don't know, she jumps time or something, and that's definitely one of those things that happens when you play by yourself a lot. But she's definitely getting better. Do I have a favorite banjo? Not really. I mean, it just depends on what I'm doing. I mean, I kind of gravitate to this Recording King because you can see. So obviously, this is definitely one of my favorites. It's got a good sound. Definitely. It's a good time, a good banjo. Yeah, for the most part. I'd rather see you put that money towards something else. Get something similar price, you know, maybe a little cheaper even. I mean, you could probably spend $300 on like an import and put the rest of that money towards something a little nicer later on. But, you know, but the good time is going to be fine. Let's see, what did I learn first, claw or three finger? I learned three finger and then jumped on the claw hammer pretty quick shortly after that. Love is like a flower. Can I play bear tracks? I can. I'm not gonna, because I don't want to have to retune like every string on this banjo and spend the next 15 minutes getting back to G after it. I think I got a video of me playing bear tracks. Definitely check that out. I think there might even be a TikTok of me playing bear tracks. I don't know. I do play it, I promise. But I'm not gonna wrestle it. And have I played the twanger? Yeah, I've played it. It's pretty cool. Decent banjo. Seems like a lot of money, but it's decent banjo. I don't know. How much is the twanger? I may be thinking of the one that they did for, I was thinking this twanger. I don't remember how much that one is, but that one seems like it's pretty fair. The Bela Fleck one that they just came out with seems like insanely overpriced. That's just me. It just seems awfully expensive. Yeah, Steve, those little attachment brackets that they put on those imported banjos, all they do is rattle, come loose, and make you drop your banjo at some point. Yeah, I don't know why they put those on there. I do not play Charleston Girl by Tyler Childers. And just for reference, and anybody that happens to hear this, and anybody that happens to wonder, because I posted a Tyler Childers song, that's not invitation for me to do song after song after song of request after request, because honestly, the stuff that's in the Tyler Childers song that I posted yesterday is pretty much all basic banjo stuff. If you've gone through my beginner lessons and a few of my learn these next, then you should have been able to figure that out. Charleston Girl's pretty much the same story for that. But I did post Bandit Clovis simply because it's a 3/4 song, and I don't have much 3/4 stuff out there. So that's the reason I posted it. But no, I don't teach songs. I know there's songs. You can search all my stuff by songs, but I'm not teaching you songs. I'm using songs to teach you the banjo. And I hope that that's the goal that y'all have, is to learn to play the banjo, not to learn to play a song on the banjo. There's a difference between playing the banjo and doing a trick. And I don't do tricks. Yeah, so the Twanger's 2000, the RK Elite is about $1,700. I'd probably go with the Elite just and save $300. Alrighty, folks. Well, we're getting close to the end of this thing. Been here almost 2 hours. Dang, y'all. Good questions. What do you think of the Alvarez? I don't know. I've not seen any of the newer Alvarez stuff. I like the old ones. I had an Alvarez Silver Bell from about 1978, And it was a very good banjo. It was a very good banjo. HX, thanks for coming, man. No, I don't know any town stuff. As far as I know, I don't. But if you want to kick one off, I'll jump in and follow you. I'm pretty sure I can play it. Yo-yos. All right, here, I'll do your yo-yo trick. What the heck? All right, let's see what. All righty, here. Get this chair out of the way. Try not to break anything. All right, yo-yo trick. Can we see that? Yeah. Did I do any of that on screen? Could you see any of that? Oh, hey there. There you go. Yo-yo tricks. Oh, crap y'all make me do. round things. It's, you know, circular objects. You know, banjos are round, yo-yos are round, unicycles are round. Yeah, whatevs. It's a quiet hobby. You know, it's something that you can do, and unless you've got cats, and then cats really, you kind of have to close the door, or the cats go nuts for the yo-yo. Anyway, all right, so let's see, I got a couple minutes, so I'll tell you my story. So yo-yo story. So I am, this was back in 2003. So almost 20 years ago, y'all. So 2003, I'm sitting at the bank where I worked, sitting back at my desk, and I get a phone call. So the receptionist puts it through, and the guy says, "Hi, I'm Dan Rogers. I booked talent for the Grand Ole Opry, and I got your name from," and he told me the guy's name. And it's like, well, that's weird that you would get my name from Joe Mitchell, but okay. I mean, Joe knew I was a musician, but he also knew that I was a yo-yo guy, because that's how I knew Joe, was through yo-yoing. And he says, we're having a special celebration for Roy Acuff. The U.S. Postal Service is doing a stamp for Roy Acuff, and we would like to have you come and perform on the Opry. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of out of the blue. What did you have in mind, Dan? And he's like, well, we want you to yo-yo. It's like, dang. You know, that's kind of almost, it's like you practice and you work on your banjo skills, and you finally get the call from the Grand Ole Opry. You get the call. It's like, yeah, I'm going to play banjo on the Opry, and they want you to yo-yo. So I went to the Grand Ole Opry, and I yo-yoed on the Grand Ole Opry, on the radio portion. That's even better. So, yeah. So that's my Grand Ole. My first time on the Opry was with the yo-yo, and that's a true story. And I got to thinking about it. You know, there's probably been thousands of banjo players that's been on the Grand Ole Opry, right? Probably. And then, but how many people do you know that's yo-yoed on the Grand Ole Opry? Not many. So yeah, I yo-yoed on the Opry. I mean, Roy Acuff won. Then he had Richard Nixon. There's video. You can go out on YouTube and look that one up. Richard Nixon, Grand Ole Opry, Roy Acuff, and you can see Roy hands Richard Nixon a yo-yo, and Richard, it yo's, but it doesn't yo-yo. It doesn't come back up. So there was Richard Nixon. So Roy Acuff, Richard Nixon, and me on the Grand Ole Opry with yo-yo. So pretty good company. Then later on, 2017, I did get to play, but but many years later. So anyway, that's my story. All right, let's see. All right, well, we are at the point where I'm going to, Vic Grigg, yeah, I worked at the bank. That's dark part of my past. Uh, oh, Vic, there are so many. I have always been a musician with a day gig for so many years. And in 2012, and if you find my wildjimbo.com, you will see a post out there. I think it's called A Change for the Better, and that I posted in 2000. The change happened in 2012, where I walked away from regular day gig and decided that I would be a full-time musician. So anyway, yeah, Tommy Smothers. Yeah, definitely an influence. Anyway, folks, yeah, they do. Totally. Totally. All right. Well, peeps, we've been on here 2 hours, so I appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. And we'll do this again. Thanks for all the tips. It looks like we made a grand total of $21.98. You know what I want to spend that on? I got a radiology bill in the mail today. And, so that's what I want to do with it. I want to spend that on a medical bill. Yay, me. All right. Nathan, thanks for coming, man. We'll see y'all real soon. Y'all go out and watch my channel. Hey, I will be back. So at some like 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight, I will be on TikTok. So if y'all do TikTok, come watch my live stream on TikTok, at Wild Jimbo. Come hang out. It'll be a different show. I'll be piled up in bed with my PJs on. So y'all come. We'll see you.